What does that sound, you ask?
From the number one station, you come.
Welcome to the Rec Show podcast, a show dedicated to beatmakers around the world. Kick back, relax with the host, Golden Mind.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the
All right, check 1 2. Peace and love, everybody. Golden Mind here for the Rec Show podcast. Welcome in, man. I want to say thank you to everybody that's been tapping in to the Rec Show podcast. New subscribers to the YouTube channel, man. We're doing some amazing things. I think we hit 114 subscribers right now. So, you know, every day we get one. You know what I mean? I'm it's a blessing, man. Everybody that's sharing the episodes on Instagram and Twitter and any other social media outlets, man, thank you again. Everybody that's been tapping in every week, thank you. My number one supporter right now, that's my only membership member, Dawn Proctor. So shout out to you. Thank you for your support, your financial support. And yeah, man, look, this week has been amazing, man. I hope everybody's counting their blessings and not their problems. This week we came out with episode number 8 for the Beatmaker's Corner, man. So if y'all don't know what the Beatmaker's Corner is basically a YouTube segment, just a little branch off of the Rec Show podcast, man. Just where we showcase the physical media aspect of the beat making journey. All right, so I'm showcasing CDs, I'm showcasing thumb drives, I'm showcasing vinyl, I'm showcasing cassettes, I'm showcasing anything. However, my fellow mutants, my fellow beat makers, music producers, and composers put out their music, and you know, I grab some. I'll showcase it like that. So this week was Q-No Rap Names and Phil Spector's color music experiment. I hope I got that right, man. My brain is all over the place. But episode number 8, tapping it out on the YouTube channel. All right, but anyway, let's get in today. Oh yeah, last week we got to talk about King John Ill, man. That was a dope episode. If y'all haven't tapped into that episode, tap into that wherever you get or listen to podcasts, and it's on YouTube as well, man. So tap into that. Now, let's get into this week, man. Last week we was in New York. We're going to take a train or a plane or a bus, and we're going all the way on the other side of the United States, Los Angeles, California, man. Somebody's been doing some amazing work, man. I've seen his beat videos on Instagram. I've also seen him in record stores, and then the main way I saw him was during the pandemic, man. They were doing like live beat sets via however they were doing it, but the locations where they were doing it for the organic beat sessions was some of the some craziest locations I've ever seen, man. That's like, I've never seen anything like that. So during that time, that's when I got in touch with and became a fan of my next guest, man, or today's guest. He is, and let me get my show notes to make sure I'm saying everything right. So he is the founder of Organic Beat Sessions, man. His SoundCloud is heavy. He's always been a part of the Flip a Beat Club in LA, I think. And you can see him, just killing it on beat performances, man, inside of a record store, which one day I'm going to go there, man. I'm only in Texas, so 4 states away. I'm going to make it there one day. But he's also put out a new album called The Warm Up this year in 2024. He's also got a Kitty Funk single with some heavy hitters, man. Taki and Who Knows. Man, they've been previous guests on the show. So, man, without further ado, I want you to welcome the one and only Matt.E.J to the show. Matt.E.J, what's good, family? How you doing, man?
What's up, man? That's a hell of an intro. Thank you.
Yo, man. Listen, man, and that's just a little small part of what's, I mean, like I don't want to give them everything, so that's why we're gonna have this little conversation, geek out a little bit, man. I know it's synthesizers, samplers, laptop, like however you make your beats. We're gonna talk about all of that, man. But welcome to the Rec Show, man. Finally, I get to have you on in season 4, man. You've been doing some amazing things, so I got to give you your flowers, especially with Organic Beat Sessions, man. That is some amazing work, and we'll get into talking about all that. But Matt.E.J, where is that your name, or is that a name that you came up with?
It's so funny, man. That's actually a nickname. It just kind of stuck with me since middle school. J is the first initial of my last name, and my friends always used to call me Matt.E.J. I used to spell it with a Y. But funny enough, I Googled it. I was like, all right, what if I start putting out music? And all that came up was like one of the dudes from The Bachelor was nicknamed Matt.E.J. And that's all that came up was just like pop culture columns. I was like, oh, I got to change it. So I was like, oh, E, that fits, So that's how that spelling came to be.
Wow. Yeah. Nice and simple, man.
Yeah.
Nice and simple, man. Well, listen, Matt.E.J, man, how long have you been creating music, and when did you what did you start out making music with?
All right, so we got to take it back to 2012. I used to like to freestyle and rap with a group of friends, and one of them introduced me to Fruity Loops FL12. Actually, that's what I started on. And around that same time, we came into contact with Dutch Massive. Huge shout out to Dutch, man. That's
the homie.
That's like big bro right there. But yeah, no, we found out he used FL, and he was showing us all these tips and tricks, and then that got the ball rolling from there. And then he introduced me to Ableton, but it really didn't click until my roommate, he showed me how he used it because he was DJing on Ableton. And it just all clicked on how you use the clips, on how you arrange it. And I want to say around 2017 is when I was like, all right, fully locked in with Ableton from that point on.
Wow. Wow. They say there's no difference between DAWs. It's just, they all do the same thing. It's just how you interpret that they do what you needed to do. But Ableton is a powerhouse. Like, what was that transition like going from Fruity Loops to Ableton?
And the main thing was just less screens and menus. Like in Fruity Loops, there's a menu for everything, whereas Ableton is a little bit more like you open up a track, it's right there. You can put all your audio effects down below. If it's a MIDI track, you can I just like the layout a lot more. And as I got deeper into it, I was like, oh, this is a little bit more customizable, and you find out little ways to tweak stuff. How you have your clips, you can change the start point of a loop, or however you want to time it out with the warping. I gotta say, Ableton's warping is that's what really kind of sold me on it. Just being able to manipulate audio like that. Wow, man. So, one day I might have to hit you up on some Ableton, because I'm thinking, like, I've been using Machine, and it's cool. It does what I need to do. I've been using it for the last 7 years, but I feel like it's reached its limit, and I feel like Ableton might bring me to a different level. So, I might hit you up on the IG DM, like, yo, I need help. Anytime, man. Anytime, I got you.
Yeah, man. San Pedro, South Bay, California, man. What was it like growing up there? Like, and you listening to the different vibes and the music that people were playing. Like, what was that music scene like in that area?
Oh, man. So, I mean, I went through a lot of different phases. When I was really young, I was pretty heavy into like punk rock. And then that kind of fell adjacent with like ska and reggae, that's a pretty big scene out here. But from there, my neighbor I grew up with, like, his dad was the one that showed me Guru and Diggable Planets. And around that same time, I found some other friends that were getting into like, golden era classic hip hop, and it was all about, Tribe Called Quest, Far Side, all the greats. And yeah, that was around the same time where I was like getting interested in rapping and whatnot as well. So don't really do that too much nowadays, but that also led into the beat making, journey.
Okay. Yeah, so you can make your own beats and rap over your own beats.
I'm pretty sure that's how a lot of people start off, especially with the beat making.
Yeah, man, a lot of my guests, like, they were like, yo, man, I used to, I rap, but I didn't have beats. So I just started like wanting to make beats. And then everybody, like all my homies were like, yo, let me get a beat, this, that. That's how a lot of my guests started out in beat making, music producing, and composing anyway, man. So, man, yeah. Man, I think everybody wanted to be an MC, man. Hip hop is crazy.
Absolutely, man.
Man, what was your rap name, man?
Oh, it was still just Matt.E.J.
Still Matt.E.J? Okay.
Yeah.
Man, do you remember the first, what was your like best rhyme or best 16 that you wrote? Yeah.
Oh man. I gotta recite that right now?
No, I'm just asking, man. I'll just ask it, man. Like, cause a lot of my guests, they take pride in the words that they're saying, you know what I'm saying? Especially over their own production. But when somebody else is trying to use their music to rap over, a lot of them say like, yo, it's not the move, man. Like a lot of people are just saying BS, you know what I'm saying? So but that's why I asked that question. I just wanted to see if you were like, you nice with it, yeah? You gotta be nice with it, yeah?
Right. Absolutely. I want to say, like, when it came to rapping, my number one thing was always, and the homie Dutch would always say this to me too, of like, just projecting and having confidence in what I was saying, and, really using your voice to get those points across. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. But once I found beats, it was just kind of like, all right, like, I still dabble. I actually wrote something like last week, so it's not like I fully ever let go of it, but beats definitely started to take the main stage, the priority, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna go all into this, you know.
Right. Man. So let me take the listeners, the internet's on a journey, man. We're gonna go back in your history. And when you were growing up, what were like who were you around? I don't know if it's maybe brothers and sisters, mom, dad, grandparents, uncles, your friends. Who were you around and what were they playing? I know punk rock was one of them, but were there different genres of music that you gravitated to that stuck with you to this day?
My dad was always kind of a jazz head, and he, one of my earliest music memories is him showing me like "So What" by Miles Davis.
Oh.
And he's like, oh, you hear the trumpets kind of sound like they're saying "so what," and I was like, oh shit, okay, yeah. And then my uncle on my mom's side of the family, he's really deep into jazz, and even to this day we'll trade stuff. He'll give me a bunch of names I've never heard of, and I'll look them up, sample them, just listen to them. So jazz has always been there a little bit. I remember coming home from church every Sunday, and my dad would always have 88.1 K jazz always playing. So yeah, definitely some fond memories there.
Wow. Like what was so your dad was the one that was like putting you onto all these different types of music. Was your dad a musician as well?
He always kind of dabbled. Like we had bongos in the house for a while, and he would have this group of friends that would jam every so often. I only remember them coming over a few times when I was a kid, but my mom also got a piano when she was really young, and me and my brother were playing that for a little bit. And then when I got into about fourth grade, I went to the band, and I was playing clarinet for a little bit.
Wow, another band guy. Okay. Yeah, clarinet. What was that instrument like? Like, did you try other instruments and they just didn't fit, or?
Yeah, actually, I was playing clarinet for a little while, and then I would always turn around in band class, and the percussion guys were always just messing around and looked like they were having a lot of fun. I was like, man, I want to do that. So I want to say middle school, I kind of hopped over, got a drum set, started playing drums, had a little punk rock band with my friends, but I never sold or got rid of my drum set. And as time went on and I got more into hip hop, I was like, oh, okay, like let me turn on fucking like Illmatic, or something like that, and just try to jam along or whatever I was trying to listen to at the time, and just trying to like figure out like these drum fills and what they were exactly doing.
Classics, man. The classics.
Oh, yeah.
Man, what were like 5 albums that and it don't have to be any like specific genre, but what were like maybe 3 albums that stick out to you, like to this day, you listen to them, you get that goosebummy feeling, like like you did when you first heard it back in the day?
Oh man, definitely D'Angelo, Voodoo.
Mm-hmm.
I'll still to this day throw on Linkin Park, Reanimation.
It's a classic. That's a classic.
Yeah. And then shit, I gotta say Lab Cab in California by the Far Side. Take a little hip hop.
Sheesh, man. Do you have a favorite track off that album?
Bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm trying to find that right now, man, because a lot of people get stuck on the Far Side's running track.
Yeah.
But they don't come on, man. Like, they got so many other dope joints on all of their albums, man.
Dude, that whole album, yeah. I mean, I like Bizarre Ride as well, which is great. But that Lab Cab album, I don't know, man. Like, it was also like I had a lot of LimeWire, Kazaa shit, where you get a single track. But that was one of the first albums where I had like front to back,
Mm-hmm.
You could listen to that thing all day, man.
Man, let me hold on. Let me see if I can pull this up, man.
Yeah.
And this is produced by JD, man. So hey, I know Jay Dilla month was like last month, February. This is March 1st by the time we listening to this, but man, can you hear that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I think Questlove in an interview has like a funny story about that, about how he discovered Jay Dilla. I was hearing this live. He was like standing outside of a club or something, and then he's like, "What is that kick pattern doing?" And like had to run inside and hear what was going on, you know?
Man, yo, man. Yo, man. JD, man. Shout out to JD, man. He's still living, man. He's we go back in the archives, man. Check out the Jay Dilla episode I did. Just showing homage and paying homage to James DeWitt Yancey, man. That was that took me almost 2 months to make that. Just gathering all the details and remembering where I was when I heard Jay Dilla production. Do you remember where you were when you heard, one of JD's joints besides the Far Side's bullshit?
So I wasn't even realizing who it was, and he's all over all these albums, even Tribe.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out that like I was listening to JD beats for a while, but I didn't put two and two together until I started to really like look into the liner notes on albums and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, who is this guy? And he kept popping up. And then once I Googled it, you find The Shining and his bigger stuff. But man, once I found Welcome to Detroit, man, that shit is, yeah, that should go into that top 3 question as well, man. Welcome to Detroit is damn.
Yeah, man. yo, man. Yo, like, you can still listen to it, and it's still, even though it came out maybe 20 years ago, maybe 30 years ago, it still resonates with people, man. That is, like when I'm making music, I hope one day it resonates like that. Like 20 years from now, it can still have that feeling of just being an amazing joint to listen to, man. Is that one of your goals when you make your production?
Oh man, kind of. Like it's always great if the outcome is like, oh, this is just timeless, but I kind of just make what I'm feeling in the moment. I go back and forth from sampling to loading up VSTs. But it is always kind of great when you can't tell. It's just a great track. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, who cares how you made it? It just sounds good,
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's the best. That's the best type of production, man. When it just sounds good, it feels good. Yeah, man. I completely understand, man. Man, I gotta ask you about after you figured out, you were MCing, and then you were like, yo, I need to make music. You started making music. You started with FL, transitioned over to Ableton.
Mm-hmm.
What's I want to say, like, what's subgenre were you like gravitating towards? Was it in hip hop, or was it in rock, or what was it? What was the subgenre that you were kind of like honing in on as you were making production?
Around that time, especially with the rapping aspect, I was watching a lot of KOTD, Grind Time. Like,
you a battle rap fan?
Oh yeah, man, absolutely. Like, bro, I love the hard bars of just people going at it and just yeah. That shit always just seems so clever to me, how they could just like trash and make fun of each other, man. I don't know what it was about it, but yeah.
Man, how did who's your top 5 in battle rap, man?
Oh man, I really liked Dumbfounded.
Oh yeah, he's dope. He's dope. He's dope, man.
Because some of those dudes just try to sound a little bit too hard, and it comes off as corny to me. But I liked how he would just like he was smooth with his flow, and yeah, man, he was great. Oh man, it's been a while since I've looked into a lot of this stuff, but man, yeah, there were a couple of dudes out of Canada. I can't remember their names right now, but yeah, I think that's where King of the Dot was, though. They were based out of Canada.
Canada, yeah. Pat Stay, yo, rest in peace. Stay.
Yeah, that's who I'm trying to think of. Yeah, Pat Stay was great. Yeah, man.
Yeah, Canada got a lot of killers, man, on the battle rap scene, man. It's not just United States or even in the UK. The UK got some heavy hitters too. But
yeah.
I'm like I've been watching. Yeah, for some strange, I watch a lot of like URL, KOTD, Grind Time. I've been watching. There's another one, man, where man, I can't remember the battle league, but man, there's so many battle leagues, man. It's like wow, like so many people that are clever with words, and especially doing that in front of other people, man. Like it could be hundreds and maybe thousands of people. Like I want to ask you, like when you're performing your music in front of crowds, like do you even notice the crowd, or are you just locked into your production and getting it and expressing yourself that way?
Man, it's kind of funny, and I've had this conversation with people to where like I'm more comfortable if it's a packed room and people are just vibing out, but when it's just like 10 people who are like also producers just like standing there waiting for you to play beats, that's when I'm like I'm just like kind of looking down at my SP the whole time, But like if it's like a packed room and everyone's just vibing out, I'm a lot more comfortable with that,
Yeah, man. I've only done maybe 4 shows, but I don't know. I think I kind of like zone out a little bit, and then I'll pull out a little bit just to say something to the people, just to make sure everybody's still rocking. But I've only done 4 shows, but you have done almost. You've done a lot of shows all over, man. Like, you've been like, I think you've done performances for Today's Future Sound. I think you've done organic beat sessions. I think you might have been on. Were you on Beat Cinema as well?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Wave Groove. Shout out Wave Groove, man.
Yeah. Shout out to Wave Groove, man. Beat Cinema, man. Like, where else have you performed at?
I want to say like one of my favorite times was 2021, going out to my brother lives in Bushwick, and Elliot invited a few of the Global Beat Cypher, Today's Future Sound guys and gals out to Brooklyn, and I got to perform at Wonderville, where they have the Donut Lounge the Sampler, and then oh man, I'm blanking. Quantum, and shout out Vicky Cassis, man. She lined that up. Her brother too, Marcus. He's insane with the beats, crazy guitar player. But yeah, that was a cool little week trip that I took out there and got to do some shows.
Wow, yo, shout out to Vicky Cassis, man. Mm-hmm. I think they have QS TV. I think that's what they broadcast on. But shout out to the Donut Lounge, Beat Cinema, man. Yo, these are amazing venues, and people putting them on. I'm just looking at it from IG because I always wanted to come to a Beat Cinema one. So I'm a little closer now from Japan, but one day I'm gonna get to Beat Cinema, man, because that room stays rocking, man. Just the lighting, the experience. What was that like performing it for Beat Cinema and the Donut Lounge?
Oh, so I actually haven't performed for Donut Lounge. I was just saying I performed at Wonderville.
Oh, at Wonderville. Yeah.
It's just the same place they have it. Beat Cinema's great, man. I love rocking for Beat Cinema. We just did my my release party, kind of quote unquote, where I played my whole album there. It was at one of their newer venues, the Stowaway in downtown LA. But even before that, man, like I was just going to Beat Cinema. I was 2012, Low End Theory still happening. I would go to Low End a lot on the Wednesdays.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
So you were part of that too. Wow.
I didn't perform there, but I went to many a Low End Theories.
Yeah, many shows. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, if it was still there, man, I would probably take a plane there and just to soak up that energy, man. Like, what was that energy like for Low End Theory?
Oh man, well, just by the way, they kind of have a reincarnation where Daddy Kev is now doing Scenario. Definitely check that out. Yeah, at the Love Song Bar, and he was one of the two guys that I believe founded or just started Low End Theory.
Right.
But man, those shows were insane, man. Like I would see Sango, Mind Design, Kazal Organism, some like heavy hitters, and they're that's 20-30 minutes down the freeway for me.
Wow, man. What was the most memorable performance you saw at that venue?
Dude, dude, who tore it down every time was Free the Robots. I don't really know what dude's doing nowadays, but that guy would kill it. He would get the whole crowd moving and like go from different genres and styles. It would be like slapping 1 minute, kind of laid back the next. Like, yeah, Free the Robot. Also, Matt.E.J, crazy producer. I know he still does stuff to this day as well. Yeah, those two kind of stick out for me, and as well as getting to see Kazal Organism, man. Like, yeah, he's dude, one of the goats.
Man, Kazal, man. I'm like, he ain't dropped the album in so long. I'm like, where'd he go? But I'm pretty sure, priorities and stuff like that, though. But
yeah.
Man, so okay, then you perform your newest album at Beat Cinema, man. The album that you're talking about is the Warm Up album, right? So the cover is super dope. First of all, like who's the cover artist? I think
that's Dutchy, man. That's Dutchy,
man.
Yeah. Just some AI artwork. I was getting real specific with it though. It was kind of, I want this next to this and blah blah blah. We just kind of picked the best images and put it together.
Man, Dutchy, man. Shout out to Dutchy, man. He just got his new spot, man. So I hope he's gonna be feeling better. We're gonna talk about that past the Dutchy album as well, man.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And because that was an amazing thing that you and the homies did. So, but let's talk about the Warm Up, man. Well, first of all, let's go back in your SoundCloud, man. Your SoundCloud is super heavy, man. It's got, you did some joints for Loop Sessions Los Angeles, hosted by like House Shoes. You've been on Today's Future Sound, Dr. Filthy, Filthy, you know what I'm saying, was on there, man. You've been performing with the homies. I'm not sure if you've ever done I Love Supreme California, but man, maybe one day. Let me see. What else have you on SoundCloud, man? Your SoundCloud super heavy, man. So I'm gonna link that in the description of the show, everybody, so y'all can tap into Matt.E.J's SoundCloud. But when we talking about the Warm Up, man, what you did with the Warm Up? Actually, it's Bandcamp Friday as we record this, man. Y'all better go back, even if it's past that. Go back and grab this joint, man. Like, this joint is amazing. Just so you recorded this between some experience between 2019 and 2021. In the heat of the pandemic, man. The Warm Up, man. Can you talk a little bit about the Warm Up? What was the genesis of the Warm Up, and how it all came together?
Yeah, I mean, I had the idea for the title for a while. I didn't know exactly what joints were gonna go on there, but yeah, it's called the warm up because the Kitty Funk was that single I posted up on my Bandcamp was kind of just like, all right, I need to get some music out there. I've been doing this for a while. SoundCloud is cool, but yeah, no, I need to get like something a little bit more official out there. So I'm going through my timeline of making beats and I'm like, you know what, this is a good place to start right here at the start of the pandemic when Global Beat Cypher was popping off. Everyone's going on these Zoom calls, session in, and that really pushed me to like, that's when I started to be like, oh shit, yeah, like I'm gonna make beats every day. I'm gonna make 2 or 3 beats a day, and just kind of comb through a playlist of about, I don't know, like 30, 40 tracks and just whittled it down to, I think 15. I think it's 15 tracks. But yeah, that's where all those joints came from was from these Global Beat Cyphers, and they would give you a little sample pack every week where one of the people or a special guest would put together about 15 to 30 minutes worth of samples. It might be the full song, it might be a little snippet, but there's some gold in there, man. Like if you're ever just like, oh, I want to make a beat, you're kind of don't know what to do, go to Today's Future Sound SoundCloud. Those sample packs are still there and they have fucking gold in them.
Yeah, because they got the samples and they be having drums. Man, you know how many beats I done made from just one pack?
Oh yeah. If it's funny too, because if people had the time, you could tell they got busy because it'd be like, all right, now it's your turn, and they would play like eight joints. It's like, oh man, yeah, you got busy this week,
Man, so you 15 tracks, produced by yourself, of course, mastered by your boy Pax. Shout out to your boy Pax. And album art by Dutchy. So, man, you got and then you got some other people contributing as well. MC Beleta. I hope I'm saying that right. And then
MC Bieta out of Chile, Paisandu. He's wild because he's a crazy MC. I don't speak Spanish, but I know that he's popping out there, and dude makes the grimiest beats. He would we'd go back and forth a little bit. I'd send him some sample packs and he would send me some drums, and they were always just smacking. So yeah, those are his drums on that track. And then on the last track is I sent that beat over to Fresh Lesh. I believe he's Sacramento or Seattle, I'm not sure, but he did the scratches on that last joint.
Man, he did his thing. He did his thing, man. MC Bileta did his thing as well. Yo, you did your thing on here, man. 15 tracks on this joint, man. If y'all haven't tapped into the warm up, tap into the warm up, man. I think a lot of ears need to be listening to this joint. It's inspiring as well, man. Just what you did with it, from what do they call it when you put the track list in order, how you want the feeling to go. Oh man, I forgot the term.
Arrangement or
the arrangement. The arrangement, man. You did your
sequence.
Thing, man. There you go, sequencing, man. Your sequencing was dope, man. And then you brought in a heavy hitter, man. Mastering your boy Pax. Like, what made you bring in this guy that's doing some amazing joints? Because he's a Love Supreme California member, but he's also been doing his thing on his own beats as well, and creating freaking what do you call them, VSTs, man. He be doing it all, man.
He's wild, but at the same time, man, like Love Supreme beats. These are all the homies, man. The ecosystem out here in LA is crazy, dude. Like there's so many little collectives and Burgers and Beats, man. Salute to them. But yeah, these are all the homies. We run into each other at least once or twice a month. Like Pax is the boy. No pun intended, but
he's that guy.
Yeah. I've been well aware that he does his thing with the mastering. He's came over, helped out my roommate how to route his 48 channel mixer to the compressors and whatnot. Like he knows what he's doing. And at the time, I have a little bit more confidence in it now, but I wasn't really sure on what mastering was. I was putting stuff on my master on individual tracks, but I'd never really kind of done it for an album, and I kind of needed some help with that. So apparently I was the first person to actually sit with him in the room and give him like notes as we went along and be like, oh man, like bring up that snare a little bit on that one, or
Oh wow,
yeah,
really? You really
yeah,
in it.
yeah. We took about like 7 hours and just banged it out in like one afternoon, one evening.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, man. That's really caring about how you want your project to be received, man. You did your thing on this joint, man. Let me clap it up for you, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man.
You did your thing on this joint, man. Like the warm up. Everybody, I'm gonna put his discography inside of the description of the show, internet. So don't worry, man. Just go scroll down into the description. You can look. You'll find his socials. You'll find his discography and some other treats in there as well, man. What is Matt.E.J using today to create music, yo?
I'm still in Ableton.
Just Ableton.
Yeah, that's so. Usually, if I'm just like, oh, I feel like making a beat, then I just open up Ableton. I have like some preset VSTs. I have like a preset drum rack with a lot of dope packs in there. Obviously like the Count, Tariq Elliott, Omari Jazz. These are like kicks and snares I'm constantly using. But I also own a bit of outboard gear. I have the Electron model samples. I love using that thing for drums. It can just do some things a little bit quicker and a little bit more unique to it than Ableton. And then same thing with like keys and other kind of melodic sounds. I have a couple of synthesizers. I got the Behringer Model D and the Arturia Micro Freak. So yeah, in terms of gear, those are kind of like my three pieces of gear that produce sounds. And I also have some guitar pedals and other things to get a little bit more unique characteristic to the stuff that I record into Ableton.
Wow, man. Synthesizers, like what got you into using synthesizers? I gotta tell you, my roommate I moved in with, like, he was the dude that showed me how to really use Ableton. Like, Dutchie was trying to teach me, but he had a very specific process and it didn't really click. And then when my roommate showed me, oh, this is how you do clips, and it all clicked. And he had he had just gotten a Moog, and he had like a Waldorf synth as well. And I was like, oh man, like this is I like having my hands on this stuff. It's different than using a VST. So, I started small. The Behringer, I don't know, I think it was under like $300. So I was like, all right, I'll pull the trigger on this. And yeah, after I got that, I was like, man, I kind of just want to fill my desk with shit, and just started buying a bunch of gear. Man, what would be your best tip to some beat makers that maybe just starting out on this journey, man? What would be your best tip that you would give them as far as making music or creating music?
For like a very, very beginner, like you're just starting, or intermediate?
Just starting out, man.
Okay. So I was gonna say, for intermediate kind of people, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If you're very comfortable with Koala, keep using Koala. If you want to learn Ableton, go for it. But if you have things that you do in a certain software, it just keep doing that. If it sounds good, it sounds good. Trust your instincts. But yeah, I think for beginners, I would really actually, maybe load in some of your favorite beats, your favorite songs by artists, and try to drum along, try to finger drum along with the drum progression, try to figure out some chords, look up some classic samples, see how you can flip it your own way,
That's cute. Yeah, man. That's a dope one, man, because I just recently started doing that as well, man. just finding some of my joints that I feel like are just dope joints, and then drumming to that, and then so my finger drumming is getting a little bit better now. But if I'm trying to do it in front of people, probably not. But yeah, man, that's a dope technique, man. So yeah, man, shout out to you, man, for giving that out to them. My next question would be, as far as creating, well, not creating, but either inspiration wise, is there anything that you have either read, listened to, even watched, that has inspired you to keep creating music and or take chances and experiment with other types of, either samples or machines or anything like that?
Man, I gotta say, like, just again, like being in LA and being surrounded by the people who I'm surrounded by, like I'm very lucky to be blessed with, like, like my homies, like Who Knows and It's a Key and Les Lockhart. Like, we have like a little group chat going, and every once in a while, like they'll throw a joint in there and be like, "Hey, what do you guys think?" And it's like, "Yo, this is insane," And then we'll talk shop a little bit, like, "Oh, how'd you get this sound?" or "How'd you do that?" And little, just trading little tips and tricks, and yeah, the homies, like they're the ones that really keep it moving, keep me progressing.
Wow, man. I gotta tell you this before I forget. So from the warm up, man, I got a list, man. Warming up is dope. Killy Jazz, that's a dope name, by the way. Slumped Over. Yeah. Here We Go Now, Tokyo Drifting, Cosmic Sync. Like, yo, man, them joints is sheesh, boy. Yeah, we definitely gonna have to. I might actually just fade out this right here and then bring that in real quick, because they gotta hear this joint, man. Yeah, I might do that.
Yeah, please do.
Ideas as I'm talking to you,
Yeah.
But let me talk to you about something that you just did a couple months ago, man. And it was a fundraiser for Dutchy, man, who's if anybody's been following Dutchy or Dutch Massive, he's had his medical issues that really, the medical system really is not helping him with. But you and the homies did something amazing, which was create a fundraiser for Dutchy and create a Pass the Dutch compilation tape that is so dope, man. Like, so many of the homies actually are featured on this joint. Can you tell me about how this came together and what was the thought process behind Pass the Dutch compilation?
Yeah. Oh man. So, every once in a while, I've known Dutch for over 10 years now. So, we'll catch up. And then when we catch up, we might stay in a lot of contact for a week or two. We'll see what's going on in each other's lives. And, at the time about a couple of weeks before we actually put this out, it was really fast. Like, the whole process was quick. But yeah, I found out his grandmother passed away. He had his health concerns, and so we always had something in mind to kind of like help him out. But it was really Les Lockhart. He had the idea to put together the compilation, and I was like, oh, bet, like, yeah, let's pull the trigger on that. So we just started, of course, we got the homies on board first, and then we started to reach out to some other people, and just being friends with Dutch for this long, I kind of knew producers and people who he's collabed with over the years, and people that he have came in contact with and stayed friends with. So Yeah, we actually we actually did all this without his knowledge too. We were so we were just doing this all behind the scenes, and people were making stuff for this, so we kind of gave it like a week and a half, like a 2-week timeline. Some people sent in joints that they knew, like, oh yeah, this is the one. Speaking of Casal, like, I think that joint that he sent in was a joint that he was playing live at a show, I believe at like Delicious Vinyl, and then Dutch started rapping over it live. So that happened to be the one that he sent in. So there's deeper meanings behind some of these tracks that people sent in that are significant to Dutch. But yeah, man, it just started to grow and grow and grow. I think we were shooting for like 20, 25 people, ended up being almost 40, But I gotta say, man, like that compilation is definitely like one of my more like proudest accomplishments music wise. Just being a part of that, helping put it together. I sequenced the album. I had to go through all these tracks and figure which ones are gonna sound good back to back, and it was a busy couple of weeks, man. But we made it happen. Yeah, I am more than happy with the outcome.
Man, if you if you don't mind, man, I gotta run down the list of names on this joint, man, because this is people from all over, man, all different types of levels when it comes to our beat community, man. If you don't mind,
Yeah.
man. Okay, so we talk about these are the mutants on this album, man, featured on this album, man. I want to say thank you for doing this. Everybody that contributed to making this a reality, thank you as well, man. And I saw the message that Dutchie put out, man. He said he was crying, man. So what I mean, like, that's what it's all about, man. Touching our fellow man and woman, man. So but yo, it's Antwan, Chuck Nessa, 2 North, R&D1, L, Lord Stan, Weirdo, Low Key, Thotto Ling, Ashtray Jenkins. That's a dope name, yo. Cold Fingers in Canada. What's up, yo? Vinny Cousins, Tatsumaki all the way in Australia, man. S-Key, Les Lockhart, who actually I think did the artwork as well. Let me see. Les Lockhart, Matt.E.J, of course, Press Morris, Taki, Who Knows, your boy Pax, Bryson, thank you, Press Morris, Solace, DiBiase, Who Knows, Olarian, Naja Head, Matt.E.J again, Eloquent, Tariq Elliott, Rugod, Wave Groove, Taki, Omari Jazz featuring, I think that's Bully. Bully, okay. Kazal Organism, Les Lockhart again, Bully, and then Jay Vinyl, man. It's 35 tracks, man. And well, yeah, this is definitely one of the ones that I might have to put at the end of the year, man. When it comes to my like beat tapes and instrumental albums of the year. I know it came out in 2023, but it was the last part of 2023. I'm still putting it in there for 2024. I don't even care. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. But like, people can still grab this album and contribute to those efforts, right? So can you just talk about like how can they support the initiative that you and the fellow homies were doing?
Yeah, so just go to passthedutch.org. I am not sure if the GoFundMe is still going, but I know that definitely raised the most amount of money. I think Les was running that, and then the compilation was the first thing that we put under the Organic Beat Sessions Bandcamp. So buy the album, and then anytime I start to get some funds, I just send them over to Dutch, and this thing got so much support. Like, I'll just take this time to say thank you to everyone that supported this. I had to fill out a W-9 because this made over $600.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man. Wow. Well, listen, Yeah, even though it's $10, man, you're about to get $610. I forgot. I got to grab that tonight, yo. So all the proceeds can go directly to what y'all are doing, man. Yeah, man. I hope Dutchy is feeling way better. Now that his environment has changed, and you know, because he's been documenting his journey as well, moving from where he was to his new spot. So,
Yeah.
yeah, man. Yo, man, thank you for doing that. And I think it's visit pastthedutch.org.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's where it's at. So yeah, I'm gonna link that in the description of the show as well. And if it's still live and kicking, internets, go ahead and contribute to that, man. If you buy the album, it goes directly towards taking care of one of the homies, man. I mean, what better thing to donate to or contribute to than supporting your fellow man, you know?
Absolutely, man. Yeah.
Man, man, I gotta so my next thing was talking about and you started something maybe 2 years ago. It might be on its third year now.
Yep.
Organic beat sessions.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah.
What?
3 years now.
3 years running, man. Can you it's so dope, man. And when I see the videos of y'all performing in this record store, but can you talk about the idea to start organic beat sessions, where that came from, and you know, what's kept you going for the last 3 years of performances, man? Because I think you got organic beat sessions. I think y'all have over 150. You know what I'm saying? Like beat sets. I'm gonna link to YouTube, but yo, man, y'all been rocking out the record store, man.
Yeah, man. Actually, I was kind of holding off because I know we had a little discussion about the Far Side, but yeah, I was holding off on mentioning because I knew we were going to touch on it. But at the time of the pandemic, one of my old coworkers actually got to be pretty cool with him. He was more into like techno house music, but you know, nonetheless, he's an Ableton guy. We would always chop it up, and he was a couple years younger than me, but you know, we became friends over time. And his cousin was doing, I believe, some artwork or webpage design for Farside TV, which was run by Booty Brown from the Far Side. And you know, during the pandemic, Twitch is taken off, everybody's moving to online stuff, and he was looking for DJs. And you know, my friend's cousin mentioned to him, hey, my cousin DJs, and he's like, okay, bring him in. And my homie hits me up and he's just like, I don't know, I'm not a hip hop guy, like I make house music, like you want to come with me? I'm like, absolutely. So we go into store 242 in Gardena. It is a storefront, and you can buy like they got incense and crystals, as well as a bunch of clothing. They have some records and some crates, and then the other half of that is like a podcast studio for Farside TV. And yeah, he would host DJs. They had a little podcast on there too. I believe it was Craig Fax. He's like a comedian. He would do stuff on there. And yeah, so we started just to do every Wednesday. We were doing DJ gigs, and we would physically go in there, and we would each do an hour set. And we would all sometimes play original music in there, but I saw Beat Cinema actually move to Twitch, you know, because we can't do anything. Everything's shut down. It's the pandemic. So they started to hit people up and have them send in pre-recorded sets. And I was like, you know what? Through Today's Future Sound and all this other stuff that's online, like Instagram, I've met a lot of dope producers that I want to give some shine to. And I threw it out there. And at first he was a little hesitant. He's like, that's a lot of moving pieces. Like I was like, you know what? Just, you know, I'll collect all the sets. We'll share a Dropbox. I'll put them in there, put them in order, and just hit play. And then whenever we had the date for the show, that's when all the sets would play back to back. So yeah, man, that's kind of how it came to be. I would just reach out to someone. I would tell them, you know, 20-30 minute set, depending on how many people we'd have, and it's up to them however they'd want to do it. Some people would pick a cool spot and show their face and actually film it with a camera. Other people would just do visualizers or take clips from movies and put their beats behind it. But yeah, man, I really couldn't believe the reception we got, even on the very first episode. Like, I was heavily watching Omar Jazz at the time, and I just he had a little section on his Discord that was like, promote your streams or promote your shows, and I put it in there, and I said, first episode with myself, Bobby Mack, Works, and Les Lockhart, just 4 of us. And he popped in there, and him and Les are cool. So he was like, "Oh, did Les perform yet?" And I'm like, "Dude, it's the first set. You came in like pretty early on." He's like, oh, "Okay, bet." He threw it out to his Discord, a message like, "Come here," and then just like 60 people, 75 people just joined the stream. So I was like, oh, and that was on episode 1. So I had a lot of motivation to keep it going. Not to mention a lot of other people and names I wanted to give some shine to and have people meet.
Man, it's so many, and it's people coming from across the world to come perform at Organic Beat Sessions too. I mean, once everything started opening back up and stuff like that. But I was watching the online joints. I don't think I was on Twitch quite yet. I think I was just seeing everything on YouTube, but man, or on Instagram. But man, yo, it was very like, yo, well, how are they doing? Like, how are y'all doing this? Everybody's got their own joints, and then y'all like, I was always wondering like, how did y'all do that? But man, I'm glad you did it though, because somebody could have talked you out of it right away. It's a lot of moving pieces. Everybody, says that, but you chose to go ahead and pull the trigger, man. Like, why did you still choose to do it?
Man, I got, shout out to Brown, Booty Brown from the Far Side, man. He saw that people were into it. He was like, oh, okay, yeah, let's keep doing this, So yeah, we just kept it going. At the time, I'd met some cats from Australia. They were doing kind of a similar thing, Pizza Night. So shout out Lash Lash. We did our second show, to kind of little collaboration with them. And then after that, we did a little collaboration with Today's Future Sound. And then after that, I kind of just started just reaching out to people. I'd give them about a month's notice. And I just started booking it up like months and months in advance. Yeah. And we did that for the better part of, I want to say, like a year and a half. And then we found JDC Records and started doing it live in person when everything started to open back up.
Man, JDC Records, that record store got, everybody always takes like videos going out from the outside, going in.
Yeah.
Man, it's got so much musical energy in that spot. Like, so many people have come through there. JDC, I don't know who owns JDC Records, but man.
So it's the owner is Jim, and he actually used to engineer for Bootsy Collins, George Clinton. He did a lot of the P-Funk stuff back in the 70s, and they actually used to distribute records. So I think during the 80s they started to work a lot with Egyptian Lover as well. And Egyptian Lover still comes through once a year at the end of the year and performs there. So yeah, there's a lot of rich history with JDC Records.
Man, how did you even come in contact with Far Side and the group members from the Far Side and JDC Records? How did y'all connect? How did y'all connect the dots to make this happen?
So like I stopped kind of doing the Twitch stuff when everything started to open back up. I just, now I'm starting to do my work, I'm working part-time, full-time. So, I'm just shifting around my priorities here a little bit. But it was through my buddy that I used to work with. His cousin used to do work for the Far Side, doing some like webpage design and stuff. So that's how we met with Booty Brown, who runs Far Side TV, and with JDC, I actually live pretty pretty close in proximity to JDC Records. So one day it was actually Taki and Who Knows came over to make some beats. We were making beats like every Sunday for a good part of the year. We were just having these sessions, and he's like, we always saw the record store and we've been meaning to go in. He's like, you guys want to go to the record store today? We're like, yeah, fuck it, let's go walk in. And we met Suzanne, who's kind of like operating manager there. She's there pretty much every day of the week, and she, salute to Suzanne, man. She was and still is very receptive to us. She even started to let us host Flip a Beat Club there when we started to get involved with that. And it's still going. We have a show in 2 days there. So, from Twitch to the record store, man. Yeah, just keeping it going.
Yo, very inspiring, man. Do you, what episode or what show number is this that you're about to go into?
Okay, so I think I kind of lost track of the Twitch shows. I broke them up to Twitch. We made it to 23 Twitch shows, and so that's once a year. So
wow.
Yeah, and then we are on 17 live shows.
Eesh. Yo, man.
We did double up a couple of months, and then maybe took a month off here and there. So it's but for the most part, it's once a month.
Man, it's just I'm gonna go through some of the people that have just been coming through the record store joints, man. Man, you got Third Child, Off Grid, A La Mode, Wave Groove, Zelente, Telly McLean, who's man, that guy's crazy with the beats, yo.
Shout out Telly, man.
Telly, man. Let me see who else. One Third, Erozilla. Shout out to Erozilla, man. He just turned, I think, 42. I'm not sure. Ali-Wan Kenobi, man, like Mr. Low, man, like so many, you got so many people coming through there, man, like, and I know it's like time consuming and, sometimes it's maybe not be enjoyable and stuff like that, but I do want to ask this question because I do want to see things like this grow and continue to help other beat makers, music producers get, perform live and get out of the bedroom or wherever they're making their music. What can we do? What can the internet's listening to this do to help you push this even more?
Oh man, visit the YouTube. You can watch. I'm a little bit behind on editing some of these shows down, but everything pretty much. I'm about 8 months behind, honestly, but everything up until that point is recorded and documented on YouTube. So that's all of the JDC shows as well as all the Twitch stuff as well. And then you can obviously go to our Bandcamp, get the Pass the Dutch compilation, and man, also if you're interested in performing, just shoot either Organic Beat Sessions or Matt.E.J DM on Instagram. I love featuring people that are traveling and coming into town, just rock with us for a night. Man, Tapes,
Rhino Willie, Bundo, like Strong Maurice, all the way man. So many Corden Jocks, Tur the Funk Jester, like B Wit. Shout out to B Wit, man. Man, so many people. Man, yeah, we got. I like to see things like this keep happening, man. Especially in record stores, like, man, like that's dope, man. That's dope, man. Keep doing this, man. However, the Rec Show podcast can support you, man. Just shoot me, DM me, man. Let me know. I got you, man. I ain't, anytime, for real.
Absolutely, man. Yeah.
I gotta ask you about and this last few questions because I know you got things to do. It's Friday.
It's all good.
Man, I gotta ask you about your beat making process. Like, what is your process like when you're about to sit down and just start creating something? What is that? What is it like before, during, and after?
Man, I feel like there's always a jump off point, and it can be anything from a sample or even just like a hi-hat progression, like a little something I've been tapping all day. I'm like, oh man, I need to record that when I get home or something like that. And then jumping off from there, I just start adding shit, going back to why I love Ableton. They have this feature called capture. And if you play any MIDI, like you could just be jamming for, I think, up to 30 minutes. And if you like what you just did, you're like, oh shit, next to the record button, you just hit the capture button. You don't even have to be recording it. It'll save it. And then it'll just boop, pop up, and you can just start going through and picking out loops, and you can start arranging it from there. Pull up some more VST, start adding and layering, and manipulating audio. I love taking, like, if it's an audio clip or some chops, I'm like, okay, well, what does this sound like if I hit halftime? What does it sound like if I pitch it up an octave? What is, just really messing around. I don't really know what the outcome is going to be sometimes. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I got a good idea. But other times I'm just like, oh, what if I reverse this? What's that going to sound like? Just play around with it,
Yeah. I've done that too, man. I'm like, man, I'm not really like set on this. It may be a sample or something like that. I'm like, let me see what happens if I reverse the chops and then play the chops, and then it's usually something like, holy crap. Like,
yeah.
It's like a holy crap moment. Like, oh snap, like that really worked. And then you get the drums right. Yo, man, creation is so crazy, man. Like, man, I every time I don't know if it's, for you, but every time I like make something that's like so good, I'm like, I put my hands in my face like, oh my gosh, thank you, man. Cause, sometimes it can be a little bit hard creating, especially, with daily life going on and, work, school, adult responsibilities happening.
Mm-hmm.
But,
oh yeah,
like, how do you overcome your daily life and give it time in your creation life? Like, how do you balance that?
I'd say just set small goals. I think when I was first starting off was I would set these big lofty expectations on myself, and sometimes they would get achieved, but sometimes I won't, and you're just kind of setting yourself up for disappointment when you do that. So if you just say to yourself, like, I haven't cooked up in a few days and I got a couple days off of work coming up, I'm going to cook one beat each day and I'm just going to make a 4-bar loop. I guarantee you it'll turn into an 8-bar loop, and then you'll make a whole track out of it. You just have to get that starting point, just open up Ableton, just make some drums, chop it up a little bit. And then even if it's not something you like, hopefully you still learn something from the process of why maybe that didn't work exactly, or maybe it really worked, and you have a new trick that you're going to do to every single one of your beats from that point on.
Yeah, man. Yeah, thank you for that, man. Yeah, that's definitely a key that you just dropped on us right now, gems that you just dropped on us. Oh man, I almost forgot, man. I have to ask you about this Puro Sampling Volume 1 that you contributed to, which came out in like 2022, I believe. Man, that's a dope collage of sounds as well. Like, what was that process like, contributing to Puro Sampling Volume 1?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you forgot you even created.
yeah.
That, yo.
That's the homie Procnus. I believe he's out of Chile, and again, that's another Today's Future Sound connection. That dude, different time zones and whatnot. When we're on the Zoom calls, he would be like either just waking up or be up for like 18 hours to stay on the Zoom call with us. And he just reached out, and at the time I was doing those Sunday sessions with Taki and who knows? So I had a lot of joints that never got released, and I said, hey, well, can I send you some collab stuff, or do you want stuff from me? And he ended up picking out 2 joints, one of my solo tracks, and then one I made with Who Knows.
Wow.
And yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, that
shout out Procnus, man.
Yeah, Procnus, man. Yo, I didn't know he was from Chile though. Wow.
Yeah.
Yo, we all over, man. Like so many. Oh man. That gets me inspired, man.
Yeah, shout out to Filthy, man. Philip Drummond. That dude stays traveling. Yeah.
Man, yeah, he all over, man. Like, yeah, man. As a matter of fact, internets, man, go ahead and tap into Philip Drummond's episode, man. We did a second episode, and we talked about a lot of different things, man. He dropped us so many gems on that episode. I think it was like maybe the second to the last episode last year in season 3. But yo, man, tap into that, man. He's doing some amazing things with Today's Future Sound and his nonprofit that he started, and just reaching so many people, man. That support the homie, man. That's all I'm gonna say is support the homie, man, and contribute whenever the fundraising starts. Contribute, man. He hooked me. Actually, I got to do a video about what he sent me too, man. So, Matt.E.J, man. This is only part 1. This is only a snapshot of where you are right now. Where you came from. Where you are right now. And I open. This is an open invitation, man. Like if you ever want to come back on the show, man, the door is open, man. All you gotta do is DM me, let me know. You ain't, enough said, man. Just we gotta set a date and let's go, brother. Like you got an album coming out, hit me up, man. You wanna promote it? We want to talk. You want to do a segment? Because I also do beat instrumentals, man, where I link with my fellow mutants, and they got an album coming out, and then we just do a track by track play and just talk about the album and what was the inspiration behind it and everything that went into creating this album. So yeah, man, it's an open invitation for you, Matt.E.J. I appreciate you, man.
Oh, much love, man. Likewise, man. Yeah, the time flew by.
Super quick, man. Like, that's how, we can talk for hours on this stuff, man. But things. My girls is knocking on the door right now, like, yo, daddy, we need you. So I'm like, all right. But yeah, man, I appreciate you. How can the internets tap into you, and where can they find you on the internets, man?
Yeah, man. We mentioned a lot of it. You can check out my SoundCloud. I think my earliest track just hit like 11 years old. So I got a lot of stuff on there. The Bandcamp, got that single up on there, and my album, The Pass the Dutch, Puro sampling. And then also shout out to Bobby Mack, man. He during I think it was like a tail end of the pandemic, he put me on the Cottywomple compilation, and that was another huge achievement for me, man. That's got a lot of heavy hitters on there, like Soundtracks on there, fucking Duke Westlake Theory has it. So check out Cottywomple Records compilation. And then as well, check out Organic Beat Sessions. We just put out the Pass the Dutch thing, but I think we're in talks of starting to release a couple of the homies projects, as well as I got a ton of collabs that I've done with all the local homies. Shout out Press Morris, Taki, Who Knows, Les Lockhart. Yeah, man. Just got a lot of stuff in the works. I got a lot of stuff, backlogged. I got to put out still. So,
so you're gonna be busy then, man.
Oh yeah. Just keep your ear to the ground. Follow Matt.E.J. Follow Organic Beat Sessions. Yeah, man.
Yo, the internets, go ahead and follow them right now. I'm gonna link all of the links where you can find them, support, contribute, on the description of the show, especially to the Pass the Dutchie compilation. Man, I'm gonna link that in the description of the show as well. Man, Matt.E.J, man, do you have like any thoughts you want to leave the listeners or the mutants before you go, man?
Man, just keep it moving. You know, I know it's there's a lot of us out there. There's a lot of producers. I know sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming, but if this is truly something that you enjoy and that you like doing, just keep at it. You know, I'm still learning stuff every day. Whether it's, you know, a little research I'm doing or from the homies, you know, like, and if you hear something you like just reach out to people, man. A lot of people are very receptive, I found through over the years. And I've built some great relationships just cold calling, just hitting people up and them being receptive and yeah, just building some great relationships over the years.
I got you, man. Yo, I want to say thank you for your time. You know, thank you for your energy, man. Thank you for doing what you do with, you know, your music and organic beat sessions, and especially for what you did for you and the homies did for Dutchy, man. Dutch Massive, man. Man, we really appreciate you, man, and wish you blessings for the rest of the year, man. I'm definitely tapped in, and I know the internets that are listening to this episode are going to tap in with you on your socials and on the YouTubes and organic beat sessions as well, man. The Farside TV, shout out to Farside as well, and JDC, is it JDC Record Store? Yeah, shout out to JDC Record Store as well, man. That's in California. Is that a part of LA?
Yeah, so we're pretty south, but San Pedro is still city of Los Angeles.
San Pedro, okay. Yeah, shout out to all to San Pedro, man. Pedro, man. Shout out to y'all, man. But I want to say thank you, man. Thank you for your time, man. And again, open invitation whenever you want to come back, man. You know, I'm trying to keep this thing going for at least 20 years, if not more, man. I'm only on year 4, so you know, we still a baby, man. So we gonna see you again. Ain't no doubt about that, man. I appreciate you, bro.
Hell yeah, man. And I want to give you your flowers too, man. This is really dope what you're doing. And yeah, man, I know how it can be like juggling life and then trying to do something a little bit extracurricular as well. So I mad respect for what you're doing, man. Much love.
white lights are humans. And these are the mutants.
They tell like younger kids or other producers like that's cheating, you can't really accept it, but bro, like when it comes to this producing shit, you can do whatever you want.
You've been listening to the Rec Show podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Remember 3 things. Believe in your music. Take care of your mentals. Become the best version of yourself. Until the next one, Golden Mind signing off. Peace and love, yo.
To be the best, you got to work overtime. To be the best, you got to work overtime.
These young boys getting better. This is not like the NBA where you can retire. Like this is, you have to keep going.